Hello, good people. How's everyone doing? Trust that everyone is doing well. Thanks for tuning in. And I am Chris, right? Just sharing my little knowledge, my little experience in this financial game of investing, right? Investing in both the stock market and crypto. It's been a good week, right? It's always a good week in my mind, right? Been a good day, good weekend, full weekend for me. I did some things on Friday evening to make some dry powder and did a few more things on yesterday to uh, acquire myself some more dry powder and so what have you. Anyway, um, so what are we talking about on today? What's on my mind today is I had a lot of great thoughts on this week that maybe I wanted to share. Right, it's been a lot going on with both crypto, stock, tariffs, the political world, the financial world, the different companies. Nvidia had his earnings call this past week. Been a lot of great things going on, right? A lot of things that we could talk about to some things to focus on and to bring to our attention. But that's why I'm always saying, some guys and gals to tap into. Chris saying been dropping all kind of things. That's what's been going on in the market all week long, right? All day, every day. Same way with Larry Jones, same with Keaton Graves, same with Stocks with Josh, same with Stock Mo, Mommy Trader, and the list goes on and on and on, right? So I'm not on here every day. I don't have I'm not in full control of my schedule. I'm in control of my schedule, but I don't have a schedule like Larry Jones, Dr. Josh, and the rest of those guys. They're able to do this full time to help spread the knowledge of investing and growing your financial wealth. I just do what I can to pique folks' interest and to introduce you to people who could really help guide you in this journey of growing your financial wealth. So, said all that to say, in spite of all those things, what I want to talk about is what was on my mind last night and today when I was trying to think of what I would talk about on today. And that is spending our money wisely, right? What are we doing with our money? What are we doing with our dry powder, with the funds that the Heavenly Father so graciously allowed to come our way, right? Me personally, I had to learn that, what they say, God moves in mysterious ways. Um, uh, that's something we've heard most of our life, at least I have, right, when I was from a kid up. But I know He's an awesome God. So anyway, in my life, I've learned to try to take the limits off of how the Lord blesses me with my army of dollars, right? I mean, I have my regular job, and then I have two side hustles and what have you. But I've just learned He could just open up doors and windows anytime He so chooses to do so. And He never runs out of doors and windows to open up on your behalf. So anyway, that's speaking spiritually. It is Sunday. Another thing that was on my mind in the area of finances, there's a scripture in the Bible. I believe I had pulled it up a minute ago. There's a scripture in the Bible that talks about being a good steward, of what God entrusts you, your finances and what have you. And so, but what I'm gonna focus on today, and speaking on spending our money wisely, right? Now, keep in mind when I say this, and I know I've said it before, but when I say this, I'm speaking of present, past, and future. So, what do I mean by that? Where I am today, I have not always been. I thought I've always been good with money, but again, where I am today, I have not always been. The financial journey that I've been on since COVID kicked off in March of 2020 has been an awesome journey. Everything I thought I knew about money, couldn't find out, didn't know as much as I thought I knew. But no complaints. Life has been good, and life is good, so I won't complain. So, when it comes to our money, I talk about my army of dollars and how I utilize them. And a person who breaks that down so great would be Jasper Racine. I believe the Minority Report. I believe that's it. It's the Minority Mindset. One of them. I get it mixed up. But you could pull him up either by Minority Mindset or you could pull him up by his name, Jasper Racine, and you will find him. He has an awesome way of explaining things, breaking things down, and helping you to understand things. But anyway, he talks one way of spending your army of dollars. And when he broke it down, it made me think, I was already doing that. But the way he broke it down, he fine-tuned some things that I was able to grasp and improve my system. So somebody may say, I may be lost half of my little audience, that I don't have much of an audience. If you will, please hit that like and subscribe button. You know, I had a thought on this week. If I've helped you make any money, give me a thumbs up, right? If you've taken some of the knowledge I've shared and you've made some money with it, give me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. If you've taken some of the knowledge I've shared with you and really been impressed with the financial growth you've achieved, then give me 2 thumbs up, right? If everything I've said is just too risky for you and you cannot benefit from it in any way, shape, form, or fashion, give me a thumbs down, right? This would be something that I can gauge how I'm going about doing things and presenting things. So if you will, please do that for me. So if that's not asking too much. Okay, circling back to what I'm talking about with money. Currently today, how I do my money. And I talk about this journey. It's been a 5-year journey since 20 to now 2025. Now, the way I currently benefit from the system, I didn't benefit from the system the first 2 years. The first 2 years was all building the system, cultivating the system, being wild and amazed. Not wild, W-I-L-D, that southern drawl. Being wild, W-O-W-E-D, right? And so I was amazed by the first 2 years. So the 3rd year, I was inclined to, when things happen, I could liquidate a portion of positions, right? 1 or 2, 3, whatever necessary to do some things I wanted to do or do some things I needed to do. That's what I did, right? Now, keep in mind also, my personal investing that I do within my couple of portfolios, I still have my 401k that I don't touch. So the 401k is now the backup plan. So that's why I can feel comfortable with taking money out. You know, some people say you should be buying, always be buying and never selling, never putting money out. To each his own. I'm telling you about what works for me. Okay, so now I tell you, after the first 2 years, you know, so what I'm saying, and as I talk about being wise with my money, right, and challenging everyone to be wise with their money, I didn't tap into it the first 2 years. I waited, and I was amazed. And then I saw opportunity where when I do want something, I need something, I could just go here, right? So now, and then my army of dollars, that what I do today, besides being able to take funds out as I needed, I couldn't do exactly how I do it today as I did the first 2 years when I was building it, because I had to build the infrastructure. Now, here we go. So when I started, right, I was already on a plan to reduce my debt, right? So I was paying extra on things. I take a chunk and pay on things. As I did side hustle, and as I had a great day or a great week or crazy tips, you know, I would take that and put a larger portion of that extra toward eliminating debt, right? But whether I had nice crazy tips or nice crazy days or nice crazy weeks, I was always taking a portion of the side hustle funds and aggressively reducing debt. Okay, so that's one thing I was doing. And so I always had a mindset, you know, your bills got to be paid. So a portion was paying the bills, a portion was going into savings, a portion was set aside for entertainment and what have you. And so anyway, so that was the basics of it at that time, right? And then when I got on this journey of investing, and then I decided, okay, now I need to have a portion that I'm setting aside to invest, right? And as I was doing that, you know, different things was going on throughout the year. What they gave us the 3 stimulus checks, right? They had I got a free grant from SBA, Small Business Association, if I'm saying that right. I got a free grant. It was like $1,000, right? And after I got the thousand, about 90 days later, they sent me a notification that because of my standing, that I qualify for a SBA loan, right? That was had to do with the I can't think about it, but we know how they had money set aside to help businesses throughout COVID, right? So it was a little small loan, I think like 12,500, and crazy low interest rate, and only pay $50 a month. I didn't want it at first, right? And one of my family members, I'm not gonna call her name or call her position because it would be easy to figure out. She knows who she is, so I'm giving her a little canvas. Anyway, she said, "Don't be a nuts, brother. Uh, with that low interest rate, it's not gonna show up on your credit report how they're doing it, and what you're paying back a month. You know, it would be crazy to not take the loan." I said, "I'm trying to reduce debt. I don't need to take on debt." Okay, look at your credit cards. Look at this. Look at that. What else is giving you an interest rate like that? What else is not going to show up on your credit report? What else is, and so after she broke it down, I say, well, when you think about it that way, I guess it makes sense. So I took the loan, and that helped me to further aggressively reduce debt, right? So I had the 3 stimulus check to help reduce debt. I had the $3,000 grant to help me reduce debt. I had the 12.5 to help me reduce debt. Plus, I already was taking a portion of my side hustle money to reduce debt. So that made the first year rather exciting, right? So I had money to help me aggressively reduce debt. I had a plan to help aggressively reduce debt. And, you know, I had my money going a certain way. Then I bumped into Jasper Racine, and he was talking about your army of dollars and having a plan for every single dollar that you have come in. And then he was sharing the knowledge of, you know, in this world that we live in and how taxes work, right? The money that you earn on a regular job is taxed way higher than any other income in the United States of America, right? So in other words, when you're a business owner, you have, it's a less tax burden, right? You may have more money that you're paying in taxes, but that would be because you have a bigger sum of income. But the way the money is taxed is different than your money you earn on a regular job. And then he went on to say other elements or vehicles that add to your ability to reduce your taxes, right? To reduce the burden of taxes outside of the money that you earn on your regular job. So that opened up my eyes. And then in saying that, he was saying how putting each dollar you make in your army of dollars to work. I said, that's a great idea, because I thought I was doing that. But when he broke it down, he was, you know, every dollar, you know, you should do a budget, and your budget should show where you put in every army of dollars you brought in to how you're sending it to work. And so after the first year and a half, I was able to fully implement what every army of dollars that I bring in from, no matter where I bring it in from. if someone just bless me with money, if someone just give me money, if opportunities come up, when doors open, when windows open, and I have an opportunity to go make some extra money here or some extra money there or some side money, whatever the case may be, every dollar that comes in has a job, right? And so fast forward to now, if you see me buy a car today or any day, I'm not buying that car out of the money that I made on this week, right? It's being purchased out of a car fund, because I always, every time I have money comes in, a percentage goes to car fund. That car fund covers anything it needs to cover: car repair, car replacement, whatever the case may be. And as I hold on to cars longer, that car fund is yet growing, right? So if you see me get a car, like, oh, he must have come into some. No, it's just time or the opportunity presented itself, plus the egg that I had already been growing for that. It grew to a place like, hey, I can get another car. And then being that you have a other side business, possibly you can write that car off or a portion of that car off. All right, so anything I do, if I go on a trip, my army of dollars have a job. A percentage of it is going to investing in stock. A percentage is going to investing in crypto. A percentage is going toward aggressively reducing debt. A percentage is going toward utility bills, right? A percentage is going toward every single thing that purpose of my budget. If it's a line item on my budget, then it's going toward that way. So what does that mean? Not living paycheck to paycheck. When I get my armies of dollars from my income, each dollar has its place, right? In this department that it's going to. And those departments covers whatever expenses that I have in my life. One, I'm reducing my expenses, so I don't have a lot of expenses. And any expense that I do have, it's not being paid off of whatever I earn on my regular job today. It's not being paid off of whatever I earn off of my side business, right? It's being paid off of all of the buckets that are, all the line item budgets that exist, all the line items, expenses that exist on my budget are being paid out of the budget, and the budget is being funded every time I get an income from whatsoever the income comes. I don't know if that made sense to anybody. Hopefully I presented it in a way that made sense. You don't necessarily have to do it the way I'm saying it. You don't necessarily have to do it the way Jasper Racine is saying it. What you need to do is come up with your own plan of how you spend your income, your army of dollars, wisely on your behalf, on behalf of your spouse, your kids, whatsoever your household exists of, right? You want to make sure you're being a good steward of your funds. When you're being a good steward of your funds, you'll be able to pat yourself on the back eventually, right? Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in one of these weeks, in one of these days, in one of these months, in one of these years, the tide will turn. It will make more and more sense. And then you'll be able to you'll start learning how to have an annual budget, how to have a budget for 2 years, right? Or a 2-year goal, a 3-year goal, a 4-year goal, a 5-year goal. When I first started, I didn't have a 5-year goal. If my spouse asked me, or my family members, or my friend, I'm not thinking that far. I'm just trying to get past here and now. I'm just trying to get the next month. I'm trying to get the next quarter. I'm trying to get the next year, right? I'm just trying to survive this year, and hopefully I'm not in the red. Well, thank God those days are now gone. Not bragging. It took work. It took growing my knowledge and watching videos. It took growing my knowledge and reading books. It took growing my knowledge and reading Google. It took growing my knowledge. It took having a desire to see a better day than the one I experienced on yesterday. Maybe I thought yesterday was pretty good, but I bumped into some good days. And when I bumped into some good days, I want to find how can I recreate more of these good days. And after I strung together a month of good days, I wonder if I could do it again. I strung together 2 months of good days and then 3 months of good days, and finally a year of good days. I said, okay, that means it's not impossible to have a good year. It's not impossible to have a good week, a good month. So I challenge everyone, just start making a better day for yourself, for your life, right? It makes going to work so much pleasant when you know where the army of dollars are going, right? It makes putting up with things that are going on the job a lot easier when you see how it fits into your goal, when you see how it fits into your game plan. It makes whatever you have to tolerate that much easier, right? You can sing your song and do your work knowing that, hey, I got a plan from the time that I'm here, from here to here. I have a plan of what I did with my time before I got here. I have a plan of what I'm doing with my time when I leave here. And I like my life. Hey, hopefully I've said something to help someone out. We want to be, what I want to challenge you to do is spend your money wisely. And in learning to do so, learning how to spend every single dollar that you make wisely. Learn to be happy with what you're doing, with everything you've been entrusted with. When the Lord sees you doing, when God, the Lord, sees you doing good things with what you have, He'll bless you with more good things. And as He bless you with more good things, as you continue to be grateful for everything He bless you with, and as you continue to be a good steward of everything He bless you with, He'll bless you with more and more and more. When you make bad decisions, airhead decisions, some might say, I'm not going to say, but some might say dumb decisions with your money, with your time, with your efforts. What more do you need if you can't do anything good or well with what you have? You don't really need more. Somebody say, that don't make sense. That's not right. That's not fair. It's not, I didn't make this world. I didn't make money the way it was. I didn't make any of this stuff up, right? I learned it. I bumped into it and I found out it works. I found out it's true. And if you don't have to use it, but my world's not gonna come crashing down because you didn't want to try some of the things that I was sharing with you. I bumped my head plenty of times in life, and people shared things with me along the way that eventually made sense, that I eventually applied to my life, and it eventually helped me make a better and better day. So now I'm trying to share that with folks, and they can string some of it along, and they can have themselves a better and better day. Better days are not reserved for certain people, not for certain people of a certain color, not for certain people of a certain place that they live, not for certain people because of their last name or a country they live in. It's reserved for whosoever is willing to learn to be better, willing to put in an effort to become better, and just be wise overall. You do these things and you'll have a better life. You'll have a better day. You'll begin to grow your finances. You'll begin to grow your financial wealth, and you'll be a happy person. With that being said, it's Sunday. Hopefully you've gone to church or done something to give God some praise and some glory for the good things that He has done in your life. You don't know if anything good been happening in my life. If you're still above ground, He did something good for you. If you have a sound mind, He did something good for you. If you're able to go about walking on your own 2 feet and making things better for yourself, I believe He's doing something good for you. That's just my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. I'm going to close out here. I got to go eat, and then we're going to go out and enjoy our day, spend some time together. So you guys take care. Have yourselves an awesome weekend. Continue to make wise decisions with your army of dollars, and be blessed continually, my friend.